Good morning. Long time no see. So I'm really excited. I am about to go to Michael's because there's a project that I want to work on that I think will be the solution to a lot of the storage issues that I've been having. And I'm excited. So I just checked my local Michael's and they have 27 of the things that I need in stock. So that's way more than I need, but it's nice to know that I have a little bit of a selection. I'm gonna go. I'm trying to get there right when the store opens, and it doesn't open till 9. It's like 8:43 right now. So I'm about to head out in a few minutes. I'm really excited. I was about to lie and say I was looking on Pinterest. I wasn't. I was looking on the Michael's website at the reviews for the item, and then there's an Instagram page that did a project with the same item. I'm being vague because I want to wait and do the big reveal when I get the stuff and I bring it back home, but I will show you when I pick the stuff up from Michael's. So see you in a bit. I'm back home. I got what I needed. You saw what I grabbed. I was gonna start that project, like jump right into it, but I can't right now because I need to eat breakfast. I told myself if I got to Michael's right when they opened, that meant that I needed to come home and eat right away. I've been doing pretty good about eating breakfast and not allowing the day to get too far away from me without having a meal. And when I was on the way back home, I started to feel a little hangry. The GPS was like taking me the wrong way, and I'm like, okay, GPS, you're being stupid, but I also need to eat. So that was that. I ended up getting everything that I needed. I was pulling them people's decorations apart, y'all, because the aisle that they had, all of the wood boxes and like, you know, unfinished wood things for projects, jewelry boxes, random placards, whatever, they only had a few of the boxes, and I didn't go to the next aisle to see that they had the rest of them like on the shelf. So they had a display with all this like fall floral arrangements with the artificial fabric flowers. And so I was like, oh, this must be where the rest of the boxes are. They just have them scattered around the store holding their decor. Because I saw those. They had like 6 of them on the shelf and they all had fall decor in them. And then there was another one that had like Halloween pumpkins or something in it. I was just going to find as many as I could and put them in my cart. When I was looking on the Michael's website, I saw some different iterations of the project that I plan to do. And then that got me a little curious about how I could do that in my home. I like cut my fingernail. I'm a little too excited. I'm cutting up vegetables. I have some parsley, cilantro, jalapeno, and a summer squash. My farmer's market has been having a bunch of these in like a little bucket for like $5, so I have a ton of them to eat up. Last week, I was eating squash and eggs pretty much every day for breakfast, and I finished my pot roast last night. It was so good. Well, I finished it as in it cooked in the crock pot and I ate it. It wasn't done until like 7 p.m. So I had kind of a late dinner. I like to eat a little bit earlier than that, but it was so good. And I made my own gravy, although it was thin, so it was more of a au jus, I guess. And I made that with some better than bouillon. I don't even think it's chicken. I think it's like a better than bouillon roasted vegetable base. I mixed a heaping tablespoon of that, and I did this in like a separate measuring cup. And then I did a hefty squirt of tomato paste, and then I put some herbs in it. I mixed that up, added a little bit of hot water to thin it out, poured it over the meat when I put it in the crock pot because I already had a ton of herbs. I had seasoned the roast really well, and I had some fresh herbs as well. Like I think I had some parsley I needed to use up. I put some garlic in there too. I've been getting garlic from the farmer's market. It smells so good. The first day I bought that farmer's market, that garlic home, it just smelled like cooked food in my house, and I couldn't understand what I was smelling initially, and I was like, dang, that's the garlic smelling like that. It smells so good. And my food, my roast, when it was cooking in the crock pot, all you could really smell was like the roasted garlic. Oh, it was so nice in here yesterday. All of that to say, I was definitely supposed to make like stir fry a squash to go with my dinner yesterday, but by the time it was done, I was just ready to eat and go to bed. I was really tired last night. I didn't end up making any additional veggies to go with. Actually, I'm lying. I had prepared lettuce, and by prepared, I mean I washed it. And I got some, what am I saying? Y'all, I'm so distracted. I have no idea what I'm talking about right now. Let's talk about these poopy vegetables though as I cut up this thing. Y'all need to go to the farmer's market. I've been trying to tell y'all to go to the farmer's market, get to know your farmer's lettuce. That's what's making me think of this. Ended up having like pot roast lettuce wraps last night. It was very unconventional and it was not something I planned, but I had burgers. I finished burgers for lunch yesterday and I had washed some lettuce to go with it. I got butter lettuce at the farmer's market the other day. I didn't eat all of it for my burger, so I had it just kind of sitting in my this thing, lettuce washer. That's not what it's called. What is it called? Lettuce salad spinner. There we go. I wanted to eat it for my dinner, but like I said, I was tired. I needed to just eat the food last night and then take the, like turn it off completely and take the inner part of the crock pot that the food was cooking in out of the actual part that cooks it so that it could cool. So I had 2 episodes of House of Dragons to finish watching. So I was like, okay, I at least have like a good 3 hours for this food to cool. And it was pretty cool by the time I went to bed. And I still went to bed before like 11 p.m. But I had this lettuce and I was like, I don't really want to make a whole cute little salad. And this lettuce looks a little wilted because I had literally had it just sitting in the salad spinner all day. And I was like, what can I do? I'm gonna just go rogue and just, you know, put a little scoop of pot roast and rice and then just lay a piece of lettuce on top of it. And that was how I ate it. And it was good. It worked for me. Now, is my stomach cramped? Am I doing all of this stuff? Am I dehydrated? Yes, I am dehydrated, but that's because of my own negligence. I'm saying all of that to say, y'all, stay at the farmer's market. This is part of the reason why I swear by the farmer's market. This is part of the reason why I do the farmer's market hauls, because I'm trying to influence you to go to the farmer's market. And listen, you got to do your due diligence when you go to your farmer's market. I don't mean to point this knife at you like that in a threatening way, but you have to do your due diligence. On social media, I've seen people posting videos of vendors at the farmer's market, like emptying a dough container of strawberries into like a little berry container and selling it, like upcharging it, and they got it from the grocery store. I have been to farmer's market like this. When I go to the farmer's market in Detroit, the Easter market, the historic Easter market, I've seen this sometimes. I see under the table where they got these little boxes and they've just purchased the produce from, I don't know, some supplier. And you know, I'm from Detroit, so that's why I'm talking about this farmer's market in particular. But I think that the people who are doing that selling, those vendors, get produce at some sort of discounted rate because we're right off of the, I don't know, there's a lot of importing and exporting happening, or there was, I don't know what's going on now. And so I'm imagining that there's probably some kind of like wholesale vegetable dealer or something over there by the river coming in from Canada or something. I don't know, y'all. I'm not sure where these vegetables are coming from, or coming in or coming out of. I'm using that as an example because I don't want you to go to, I'm not going to say don't go to the Easter market, because the Easter market is great if you're in Detroit. But I want you to, when you go to these farmers markets, be very intentional about where you're buying your food from. I go to a farmers market in the city that I live in now where it's a farmers market network. So they only allow vendors who are growing their food within like, I don't know, a 40-mile range or something. So you can come from 3 different states within this area. You can't be selling, and it has to be of a certain quality. You can't be selling to like large corporations or whatever. It's got to be small farms. They have very strict guidelines, and that's why I like shopping my farmer's market. But I also know that because that kind of stuff is important to me. I want the food that I eat to come from like my locality. You know what I mean? Like the roast that I made, when I eat beef, because I don't eat a ton of poultry because I haven't found a good poultry dealer. That's so weird to say. But the farms that I get my beef from are not that far from me. And they're as ethical as you can get if you're consuming meat products. Like, you know, they have almost like the CSA, which is community supported agriculture. Like for CSA, you can order a box of vegetables or produce or whatever from a specific farm, and that's how the farm makes money. And then you as a consumer gets a benefit from eating farm grown produce that hasn't been handled, you know, and grown like miles, hundreds of thousands of miles, maybe not hundreds of thousands, but you know what I mean? Like, you're not eating stuff that's coming from 5 states away that's got to be on an airplane or on a cargo ship. You're eating things that was literally driven from the farm to your doorstep. It's the same thing with the meat for me. So there is a specific farmer's market that I go to that's still within this farmer's market network, but I go on different days because different vendors show up on different days. When I go on Sunday, I know that that's when I'm going to get my eggs because my egg people are there. It's a farm that only does eggs. They take pride in how they treat their chickens. They got pictures of the chickens up, you know what I mean? Like, that's their family business. And like, the quality of the eggs speak for themselves. Like, they're really good eggs. You can get eggs anywhere, right? You can get eggs anywhere, but you run the risk of having salmonella contamination or whatever other outbreak they got going on this week when it comes to produce and dairy and eggs and whatever. But you have a lesser chance of experiencing that when you are supporting a smaller network, when you are supporting your local economy, when you know the farmers that are breeding the chickens whose eggs you're eating. I like to get blue-green eggs. They haven't had any blue-green eggs this summer, and I haven't been able to get them since like last year around Easter, I think. And if you look at my Instagram, you'll see like these beautiful pictures I posted, these blue-green eggs. And part of the reason I like to get them is because they are so visually stunning, but they taste good too. I mean, it tastes like eggs, but I've eaten eggs from Trader Joe's and noticed the taste, like a very different, nasty taste. I'm saying that because for people who say like, oh, it all tastes the same, it doesn't though. It does not taste the same. I have never purchased garlic from anybody's grocery store and had it smelling up my whole house. When I get my red onions from the store, I got to make sure I take a plastic bag with me, because if I'm in an Uber or something, it's going to be sinking up the whole car because the onions are so fragrant. Now, I can go to Amazon Fresh and get a bag of onions and it's not going to smell like nothing. It's just going to be, you know, onion paper all over the back seat. But when I go to the farmer's market, the produce smells like what it's supposed to smell like. And it tastes so much better. The eggs taste so much better. I started drinking whole milk again, y'all. And if you know me, which most of y'all only know me from the internet, but your girl is lactose intolerant. Okay, so I can't be out here eating all of this dairy. I mean, I can if I want to with the aid of a little bit of a lactate pill. But for a while, I hadn't been drinking whole milk because it would just upset my stomach. But Lois Key, when I go to the coffee shop, I get whole milk in my drinks because they charge too much for the alternative milk, which makes no sense to me. I mean, I get it, but as a consumer, I'm not trying to pay all this extra money when I don't have to. So I'll just give me the whole milk option and I'll take a lactate if I have to. But there's a dairy farm that comes to one of the farmers markets that I go to. And on them days, when I go get my eggs, I usually get 2 cartons of eggs at a time. Honestly, the eggs that I buy are $7 a carton. Now, if you don't want to pay $7 for a carton of eggs, then don't. It's that simple. Go get your cheap eggs from wherever. I'm saying that, and I'm specifically saying that because I have seen comments on people's videos where other people like me are encouraging the general public to find a local farm to support. And the comments are like, it's too expensive. I went to the farmer's market. It's too expensive. Okay, do you want to shit your life away because you done ate some poisonous vegetables? Or do you want to stick with your nutritional guidelines and actually eat a well-balanced meal? Like, it sucks that it has to be that way in the United States. But like, we know that our food isn't, we know that the powers that control our food system don't always have the best interests of its citizens in mind. That's how I could say that. Hopefully, look, hopefully they don't put my video at the bottom of the algorithm because I said that, but it's true. It's true. That's why you go to different countries. That's why you go to, you know, London or wherever, and you can't get a lot of the things that you can get in the US because they don't let their people eat yellow dye number 5 and number red and all of this stuff, you know, red number 40 or whatever. And y'all, I wanted some Cheetos the other day. I wanted some Cheetos, and what humbled me was I also wanted some M&Ms because I wanted to make some cookies. And I said, you know what, I can't justify eating 2 chemically based products that have artificial colors in them. And I wanted those Cheetos, but I also really wanted those M&Ms. And so I got the M&Ms instead, right? I'm not perfect, but it's the lesser of 2 evils. I'm gonna just consume one product with yellow dye number 55 or whatever it is, red dye number 40. I'm only eating one product with red dye number 40 instead of 2 that I don't need. I don't even know what I was talking about. I'm chopping up this jalapeno right now. But yeah, that's what I was talking about, the eggs. I see these comments where people are like, I went to the farmer's market, it was too expensive. Yo, if you shop at Whole Foods, I guarantee you're going to be paying the same price. You're going to be paying the same price, and sometimes less, because the farms want to get rid of the produce before it rots. Y'all, I've been buying peaches the last 2 weeks. And they've had this deal on peaches where, like, if you buy one basket, I don't even know how much it costs, honestly. If you buy one basket, it's maybe $5. And then 3 baskets for, I don't know, $14 or something. And that includes everything. That's how I've ended up with that squash. Because they're trying to get rid of squash. And I get rid of it like, oh, the squash is bad. But, like, they're growing it to sell it. So it does them no good having produce that's rotting on their farm, and they know that they're about to start cycling in fall produce. So like, you're going to get better quality stuff if you actually find local farmers. And even if you go to a local farm where you can just like drive up on the farm and they maybe once a week or something, they got a little farm stand going on, do that. A lot of these places also accept EBT if you're receiving government support. I wish I could get some EBT. They won't let me have none. Okay, and I don't understand why I don't have a job. I'm still unemployed, but they won't let me have it. So somebody's getting it, and rather than spending your EBT on hot Cheetos and stuff, yellow dye number. Let me see what let me put some respect on the yellow dye's number. I'm sorry, yellow dye 5. Oh, yellow dye 5 and yellow 6. Okay, I got some yellow 6, I got yellow 5, and then there's also yellow 6 lake and yellow 5 lake. I don't even want to look up what that means. I bought it. I'm gonna eat those, and then we're gonna wash it down with a bunch of cruciferous vegetables and pray for the best. If you go to Whole Foods and buy eggs, for eggs that claim to be pasture raised and all of this stuff, Vital Farms, I know Vital Farms costs at a minimum $8.99. It costs between $8.99 and $10.99 depending on what you get, because I used to buy that. I used to buy that until I was like, well, wait a minute. Vital Farms has some scandal, allegedly. Let me not call people out by their names. Whatever brand you buy from Whole Foods, you're going to pay some money because it's a health food store or whatever. And then when I started to see that at the farmer's market, they were selling eggs for, depending on the farmer's market that you go to. I go to a farmer's market where it's a lot of, people with money. So they upcharging, because I noticed that if I go to other farmers market, the same things are selling, they're not as expensive. But they know their customers, right? They know that they can charge this amount of money and people are going to buy it and they're going to sell out every week. I mean, that's like basic economics. When I started to see like the price of eggs at the farmers market, I was like, well, I'm going to start buying eggs from the farmers market, because it's like low key cheaper than the eggs that I would buy at the store. I used to buy eggs from Whole Foods, and then I stopped because I started noticing that they were tasting funny, and I was getting the premium brand, this expensive brand of eggs. And then I started buying from this little old lady and her husband, who got pictures. They got a little Christmas card up of them cuddling with their chickens out in the farm. And I said, well, I would rather buy my eggs from them. She knows her chickens by name. Like, I don't want to buy it from this factory place that's just selling the eggs to every corporation, And so when I was asking her about the blue-green eggs, she said her chickens weren't doing well. The chickens that lay the blue-green eggs, they needed to take a break. So she hasn't been like brooding them. I'm making stuff up. I don't know what the chicken terminology is, but she said they didn't want to do eggs right now, so she was leaving them alone. I respect that. If your chickens can't produce eggs right now because they said, man, we're tapped out, we don't have it in us right now, then go to the ladies that produce the brown eggs. That's okay. I get the brown eggs now. Anyway, I'm making eggs and squash. I'm gonna do like a little stir fry, probably like a little scromlet, and then put some goat cheese with it. I have the vegetables cut up. And it looks like a lot of vegetables. I kind of wish I had a potato, which I do. I just don't want to cook it. It's going to take too long. And then once I eat this food, I'm going to show y'all, I'm going to do a haul, a Michael's haul, which is literally all of the same thing. It's all of the same item. It's just 12 of them. You already saw it. I don't need to do a haul. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'll see how I'm feeling. When I was taking the stuff out the car though, the bottoms of 2 of the crates got wet, which is pretty gross because there was like water in the back. So I have those sitting on the front porch right now so that they can dry out. It's like really hot out. So hopefully they'll be dry pretty soon. I just didn't want them to rot or anything. And they're like, the wood is untreated. I did also get a container of paint, but I'm not sure if I'm going to paint that. I have a coupon for an art supply store that I think I might stop by tomorrow too, because I need to figure out if I'm going to finish this. If I'm going to finish the wood, even if I leave it in its like natural state, I'm a little nervous about the wood rotting since I'll be having plants in one of them. So, all right, let me cook this food and I'll be back in a little bit.